YouTube wants to keep people on their platform, because if YouTube has people on their platform, they're gonna make more money. And if they see that you keep people on the platform, they're gonna put more of your videos out to more people that they see are your lookalike audiences. If what you're saying is hot garbage or fluff, they might watch 3 seconds and then leave. MrBeast's strategy is for views. Likely our strategy is for leads. I have clients with 1,000 subscribers that are making 6 figures, and sometimes their friends will be like, are you pissed? Like, your channel's so small, you're spending all this time, but like, you haven't seen my bank account. You can't deposit likes and subscribers in your bank account.
I am doing all these videos, no followers on YouTube. I'm not doing anything about it. And I thought, I just listen, how do I do this crushing thing on YouTube?
This crushing thing on YouTube. All right, let's see. From first glance, your titles have emojis in them. We don't need to put emojis in your titles. Okay. Also, your thumbnail, you're repeating what you're saying in the title in the thumbnail. And so your title and your thumbnail are both 50% of your attention real estate.
Okay.
So if you're just repeating it, you're losing opportunity.
Okay.
We want to have 2 separate opportunities here. So if we look at Russell Brunson's thumbnails, you can see he's clearly not repeating the title in the thumbnail at all. Make people want your product without begging or convincing. And then the picture is trigger buying instinct. I like to do this little kind of exercise where I'll like kind of cover up the title and imagine, would that thumbnail alone make me want to click? If I cover up the thumbnail, does the title alone make me want to click? The title and the thumbnail, we want it to create question marks in our mind. But if the title and the thumbnail makes me assume or guess what's going to be in it, I have no reason to click on it.
Exactly, okay.
Yeah. On my trailer video, I'll typically put like one of my most popular videos that I want people to see the most.
Okay.
Or you can also make it your most recent video. Your description is important for people to see like a little bit of what the video is about. It's gonna also show YouTube more of the keywords of what it's about, but you don't need to spend as much time on the description. I would put like one line that's kind of another hook, and then under that maybe the links to what you're sending to. You're building an offer around helping people through addiction. First, what I would do is if you start a YouTube channel telling your story so that people that are kind of like your before picture will start to see your story and go, I relate to him. If he's done it, I can do it. I can follow in his footsteps. So I'd start building that audience, even if you don't have the offer yet. Sometimes people go, oh, well, I don't know what my offer is, so I'm not gonna start yet. But if you start creating the content, that'll also give you feedback about what your audience wants. I didn't have an offer when I first started my channel. I was a dental hygienist, and I was just making content about social media because I liked it, I was good at it, I just started to explore it. But then people would ask me questions that then gave me feedback on if I made a course about the questions that they're asking. If you could wave a magic wand and I could solve any of your business problems, what would that be? Or if we could sit across at coffee and you wanted to ask me anything, what would that be? And that gives you feedback on what your audience wants. So start your YouTube channel by telling your story, thinking about the before picture of you, like you 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10, however long it was. What are the things that you needed to hear? Because that's likely going to be the audience that you're speaking to. A huge common question of like, what kind of filming equipment do I use? Has anyone heard of the guy Sam Sulek? So he has a YouTube channel. He's like a bodybuilder. I think at the beginning he was just whatever camera or phone, whatever, he would just set it next to him while he was even driving and would just talk like while he's on the way to the gym. And what's so amazing about him, and I think gives a lot of permission to people who want to start creating content, is he wasn't trying to be this like hyper edited MrBeast, oh my gosh, like he was just being real. Look at what AI is doing. You can spit out a script and like anyone can just read a script. People want to connect to humans. So yes, like Lady Gaga has filmed music videos on her iPhone. Like you can use your phone. Let me give you like a simple framework, little intro, but the intro is a hook. The intro is not, hey guys, my name is Marley Jaxx, I'm an entrepreneur, just wanted to talk to you today about blah, blah, blah. They're already gone. You have 3 seconds to hook their attention. It cannot be, hello, today is Thursday, how are you? It needs to be like straight hook, which if you need, we go to ChatGPT and we ask it to help us come up with a hook. Hey, I wanna make a YouTube video helping people that are struggling to get off of drugs and alcohol, and they're probably like relapsing, they're really struggling. Can you give me 3 ideas for my first line opening hook that's gonna grab their attention and have them just like absolutely salivating they need to watch the rest of this video? Okay, so let's see, it gives me 3 options. Tell me which one you like. If you keep relapsing, it's not your fault because no one ever told you about this addiction. Okay, maybe. I don't care how many times you tried to quit, this time is gonna be different, okay, maybe. The truth is willpower alone will never keep you sober, but here's what will. I like that one because there's a hook. It's like, I gotta keep listening to find out what will. The next thing we need is we need minimum 3 points. All of those 3 points need to be open loops as well. They need to be cliffhangers that are gonna lead to the next one. All right, great. Now I need 3 points that I wanna talk about in this video. Can you help me come up with those 3 points? But I want those 3 points to be polarizing, disruptive, non-obvious, not the stuff that just they've heard of in every other YouTube video, because I really want this to stand out and be different than what they've ever been told. I love asking ChatGPT, give me something that is disruptive, polarizing, and non-obvious. I love giving this example where it's like, there's 2 videos. The first one says, how to master your money mindset. And then the one on the right says, I pretended every night until I made $1 million. Which one would you rather watch? The how to master your money mindset, I already have assumptions about what it's gonna say, right? Like, it's probably gonna tell me, what do you think? Like, how to budget? We want something that creates curiosity, that I'm like, you pretended every night until you made $1 million? What did you pretend? Can I do that? You made $1 million? How? There's so many question marks in it that I have to click on it. So it gave me point number 1, sobriety won't save you, identity will. So then that makes me think, what identity do I need? Most people think quitting is about willpower, discipline, or even hitting rock bottom.
I got all kind of content I can talk about.
Right, someone would go, I thought that, but it's not. That's what gets them to lean in and go, tell me more. If you still see yourself as an addict trying to stay sober, relapse is inevitable. The real key is shifting your identity. You have to become someone who doesn't need drugs or alcohol to feel normal. I'll show you how to rewire that identity today. Amazing, which leads to point number 2, which it came up with. The system profits from your relapse, so they teach you to stay stuck. Ooh, I'm like, we're not addicts, but we're like, this is good stuff. Point number 3, you're not addicted to the substance, you're addicted to the emotion it gives you. If they're gonna go to YouTube, they don't wanna hear what they've already been hearing over and over. They need to hear something that they haven't heard before, or they need to hear the things that they're hearing all the time in different packaging. Also, in the middle of your 3 points. So a lot of people will wait till the end to do a call to action. Don't wait to the end, because people have really short attention spans. They don't always make it to the end. So we want to put the call to action right in the middle, right in the cliffhanger. You know how Netflix will be like, cut off the episode right before something big's gonna happen? They're like, you wanna watch the next one? So we need the cliffhanger right before you go into point 2. So if I was like, here's the identity that's gonna help you, which, by the way, before I tell you about that, if you click the link below, I'm gonna give you a checklist that you can read every single day that's gonna help you. If you ever have that moment of a craving, click the link below, you can print that out right now. All right, number 2 is, so see how that was a by the way? It was not a commercial break. People pay to not have to sit through commercials. So if it comes across like a commercial, they're already gone. It aligned perfectly with what you were already talking about. Because if in that point I was like, here's the identity you need, I'm gonna give you a checklist for that identity. All right, next thing. And then at the end call to action is to lead them to another video. Every video should always lead to another video. The reason why is, of course, we want people to binge watch our content. The more time they spend with us, the more time that we can actually help them, and the more that people consume your content, and especially when you have those hooks that gets them nodding along going, yeah, that's me. The more yeses that you can get them nodding along to, the more likely you're gonna get a yes when you offer them something, whether that's free or paid. There's a metric called AVP, the average view per viewer, meaning that the average viewer is gonna watch multiple videos. If they only come to one and they never see you again, YouTube isn't gonna boost your content in front of more people. They wanna see that people keep coming back for more. So we always wanna link one video to the next, to the next. So when you're creating your content, you should be thinking, what other video do I have that I can lead back to really well from this? And you almost like create this little breadcrumbs trail for them to watch this video and this video and this video. And over time, you might find the videos that convert the best. You'll be like, oh, this video gets tons of comments. This helps them a lot. I get a lot of people that click through to my call to action from this one. So you'll use that video more often. I have so many videos already, like, should I go backwards and like figure out? You can, but also now that you know this strategy, you're gonna make content with better hooks and better points that's disruptive. And like, unless you do have videos from the past that like have lots of views, people are commenting, you see, then yeah, go back to them. Just move forward with the good strategy that all your videos now have. Whenever someone asks how long should my video be, and it's so funny when I'm on stage, I'm like, repeat it with me. As long as it's interesting. If it's interesting to you, amazing. You should love your content. Like when you're creating content, if you're like, I nailed it, that was such a good video. I want you to feel like that when you're creating content. I don't care if you went half an hour. I don't care if you went 2 hours. Poor Mosey right now, who's grown so much, he has hour-plus long videos and people are watching it, and he has 2 million whatever subscribers. It's full of value. So if you're on fire and you're in flow and it's an hour bit, put it out, amazing. You're like, oh, I could break it into 2 parts. Here's part 1, hey, call to action, here's part 2. You could do that. So typically my first call to action that I try to put in like a cliffhanger part of the video is a lead magnet, because I want them to go to my email list. That's always my priority. However, I do like to ask for engagement, but I want to ask it where it makes the most sense, that it's like, it's a typical question. So for example, I have a client that she does weight loss. And so if someone's like stuck on the hamster wheel, they're stagnant, they can't lose weight. I did a video with her where we're at the grocery store and she's making the list of what to get at the grocery store when you're in weight loss mode. And maybe she's like going down the aisles and she's like, oh my gosh, I know that we're not supposed to eat cheese in weight loss mode, but this is my favorite. What's your favorite? Comment below. Okay, now here's the next thing. It was a subtle drive-by for engagement again. It needs to make sense with what you're saying. Again, if it seems like a commercial break, they'll click away. I don't want it to be an infomercial of like, and I have this thing, and I have this thing. I typically have one lead magnet. I have a checklist. I have an ebook. I have a video. Whatever the lead magnet is whatever makes the most sense with the topic of the video. Testimonials are amazing. However, putting testimonial videos on YouTube isn't really the function of YouTube. We're going to YouTube to learn something, to be entertained, and testimonial videos are great, but I would use those on your sales pages more than on your YouTube. There's a difference between podcast and YouTube content. I would separate your talking head, like to camera content, from podcast interview content on separate channels. Not everyone wants to listen to that content, but the people who do, they will. So put that on a separate channel so YouTube doesn't go, huh, only half of her audience watches this and only half watches this, so we don't know who to send it to. I agree to have shorts and longs on separate channels, because you're also teaching YouTube what audience you want it to send to you. People are typically in a different state of mind when they're watching long form. When we're watching short form, you're just like that. There is also a difference between the strategy like MrBeast. MrBeast's strategy is for views. Likely our strategy is for leads, which is a much different strategy that you can have a small channel. Like I have clients with 1,000 subscribers that are making 6 figures, and sometimes their friends will be like, are you pissed? Like your channel's so small, you're spending all this time, but like you haven't seen my bank account. Like you can't deposit likes and subscribers in your bank account. I think of short form as like around a minute or less. I know short form can be up to 3 minutes now on YouTube and Instagram. I have a shorts channel and I have a longs channel, and on my shorts channel I might go, here's my longs, go watch those videos there. But I think what you're also thinking of is if you're repurposing your shorts from your longs, there's repurposed content and there's purpose-made content. So when I'm creating short form, I'm not just taking the videos from my long form, like clipping, oh, here's 30 seconds, here's 60 seconds. And the reason why is what we talked about earlier with hooks. I don't know if I just grab a 30-second chunk, if it's gonna have the hook and the disruptive points in it that's gonna keep people retained for even that 30 or 60 seconds. I create my short form purpose-made, that I am like scripting or planning out my short form for a 60-second clip using that formula I gave, but smushed into 60 seconds. I think that you should optimize for any screen, long form or short form, whether it's being watched on a TV or in a video. I think it needs to look good to be able to capture the viewer. And also video quality is a visual hook. When we talked about Sam Sulek, he doesn't have huge production value. He's like sitting at his kitchen table eating breakfast. But because it's just so natural, it's like, oh, this guy's just being real. It's not, I feel like I'm sitting next to a friend having breakfast. So sometimes people get all worked up about like, I gotta have a studio and I gotta have a 1080 camera and I have to have a really expensive lighting, when really it's just like people just want to hear you talk. Because AI is making people come across so artificial, they just want you to be you. So for YouTube, I would recommend at least one long form of a week. I think you'll grow faster if you could do 3 a week. However, quality over quantity. That said, you need to have quantity to sometimes figure out what the quality is that you like. So just whatever it is, stay consistent, but don't give yourself a goal number of like, I have to put out 3 videos a week and you don't even like your content. I gotta take 2 weeks to make this video so that I'm proud of it. Do it. I had a phase where I made 1 video in, I don't know, 6 months. It was a documentary and it blew up and we won awards at film festivals. It took me 6 months to make it. I wasn't gonna rush it. For short form, I think that if you can, 1 short form a day, and that short form can go on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. When I'm creating content, I think in long form and short form. My long form goes on YouTube, and if you want to, you can also rip it if you wanted to put the long form on a podcast, as long as it makes sense. Sometimes if you're visual, it doesn't make sense for them to hear it without. And then short form, I will post my short form on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. YouTube wants to keep people on their platform, because if YouTube has people on their platform, they're gonna make more money, because people are gonna see the ads on YouTube, and they're gonna pay you a little bit to your channel for keeping people on the platform. And if they see that you keep people on the platform, they're gonna put more of your videos out to more people that they see are your lookalike audiences. So how do we play the game with YouTube? At the beginning, if you're just starting a YouTube channel, you're throwing out hooks, you're fishing. You're like, okay, let's see if this works. Let's see if my audience responds to it. If not, we're gonna try it again. You're also going to be able to test that well by making good titles and good thumbnails. Make sure that every video has a CTA to another video, so that we're teaching our audience to keep coming back for another video, another video, another video. You ever gone down the rabbit hole? You're like, oh my gosh, I've been watching YouTube for 2 hours. What happened? So a lot of people will get confused by this, because a lot of coaches will say, yeah, when a YouTube video goes out, like send an email to your list, post on Instagram, post on Facebook, tell people you have a new video. That's typically what we do with funnels, right? Like something comes out, we roll out the red carpet, here it is, it's ready. On YouTube, don't do that. That sounds so strange. Why wouldn't I promote this video that I just spent so long making? Well, because YouTube has its own algorithm, and because YouTube is a search engine, that video has a lot more lifetime, a lot more longevity than like Instagram or Facebook, where the content's just gonna like disappear after a couple days or hours even. So I started my YouTube channel in 2016. I still have some of the videos on my YouTube channel that are still getting thousands of views, because it has a good title, has a good thumbnail, has good hooks in it. It's evergreen. People will still find this content years later and keep watching it. But we want YouTube to do its work to pick it up in the algorithms. And if we teach YouTube that we're just gonna send outside traffic to it all the time, it'll go, oh, we don't need to push it out to people. So it sounds counterintuitive, but when you put out a video, you actually don't promote it to your lists. You can at least 2 weeks later. Give YouTube time to pick it up in the algorithm, but also by that point, you might have your video that's like ranking or showing up in search and suggested, which that's the best place that you want to be, that your content just keeps showing up and it's being put in front of the audience that it's exactly for, but you didn't have to do anything to, other than create it, to push it into those people. In my descriptions, I typically put like 1 or 2 lines at the top that's reiterating what the video is about, because also search for something on YouTube. What you'll see, and kind of in order, you'll see the thumbnail. Does the thumbnail capture your attention? You also look at the other ones to compare to. If I have like 4 thumbnails, which one's gonna make me click? So they see the thumbnail first, then they see the title, then they see the first lines. So those first lines also need to be a hook. So I'll put like a hook in the first lines, and then typically right after that, I'll put links mentioned in the video, and it's typically like 2. It's typically the lead magnet and the next video that I mentioned. And then under that, maybe I have a little bio about me. So sometimes people will be like, they use these tools like TubeBuddy and vidIQ that helps you to put the right keywords in, and it gives you a keyword score. And you can like kind of play this game with it where you're like, oh, I'll put this keyword in, and it bumps my score a little bit higher. And I had this one client that was like, my keyword score is like 95, but I don't have enough views yet. Like, why isn't this working? She's getting so frustrated. You can't SEO a bad video. Like, there's no amount of keywords that if you're not focusing on the title, the thumbnail, the content of the video, if what you're saying is hot garbage or fluff, if it's things that they can assume, if it's stuff they haven't heard before, they might watch 3 seconds and then leave. You could have a really good video and not even have good SEO on it, and if it's good, people watch it. YouTube goes, people watch this, put it in front of more people. My must-have tools is ChatGPT to help me with the ideation. I also like 1 of 10. 1 of 10 is kind of a phrase that we use when your video ranks, like of your last 10 videos, it's like the best one. Sometimes people think that it's supposed to be 10 out of 10. They think that it's a score, like a ranking system. No, you want your recent videos to be a 1 out of 10, meaning it was like the best one you put out. Yes, but it depends on how you're putting the video together. Hooked story offer. So when we came up with this video for this gentleman that he's helping people to overcome addictions, if in one of the points he's talking about that instead of willpower, we need to work through identity, in that point, he can also share a story to be like, I have a client, let's call him Bob. Bob was on the streets, blah, 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 and now he's this. And so in that case, you're using it as like a story that you're weaving in that it makes sense. But if your video alone is just a testimonial video, that's not really the purpose for YouTube. I would go for the curiosity over the Google keyword search. I think if you do kind of the how-tos or the SEO stuff, it's kind of a one and done. People come for the content, they stay for the personality, they stay for the story, and that's what keeps them coming back.
So would you suggest maybe a hybrid sometimes?
You totally can, yeah, but it's always a test, because sometimes if you hit on a keyword that is a really popular search and you're like, I'm just gonna do a how-to because I know that this is gonna be highly searched and it's gonna be important, it's gonna be valuable, then do it. But you can also split test and have a keyword title and a hook title, and the data is what's gonna tell you more than I can even tell you. On YouTube, you can split test your thumbnails right in there. I don't know if it's allowing you yet to split test your titles, but if not, you can split test titles with TubeBuddy. I think it's important for you to know what your audience is asking for or what they're looking up, but then I would still recommend titling it based on a hook that's gonna have them intrigued. What I would do is I would probably have YouTube videos that are driving to your lead magnets, driving to your email list. From your email list, I would promote your live trainings that maybe it's in a Zoom, maybe it's in a Facebook group, but you have like a regular kind of thing. Yeah, especially if you're teaching new features and people go to YouTube for like tutorials of how to do those new features. We also want to consider that this is going to be evergreen content. So if at some point you stop doing these lives and you're like, hey, come to my live next week, and it's like 5 years from now and you're not doing it anymore, I would instead lead to a lead magnet, which even the lead magnet that goes to your email list can change, or to another video. Something that's gonna take this to the next level, it's gonna increase your conversions, is when you have this tool, which we made a video that also includes a step-by-step on how we used it to make 6 figures in 36 hours, go here. Like, there's a hook to it, not just like, here's how to use ManyChat. Yeah, because if you go to youtube.com/podcasts, it's categorizing them, and YouTube podcasts take up 30% or more of the market share of podcast listeners. So we do want to have it categorized there. So typically, I mean, if you have videos previously, that would be a good, hey, here's the next thing to go check out. So for example, I had this like series of videos where I was taking movies or celebrities and breaking down their marketing. Like I did a video on how the Barbie movie did their marketing that was very disruptive. And then I did a video on the Kardashians and how their marketing is disruptive. And as I made it, I knew that one was leading to the other. So I had to release them in the right order so that the call to action would make sense. But if not, I would change the call to action to a video that I've already put out.